Hello, this is Duke from Duke It Out, back with another episode of Weekly 5. And when we think the world of pro wrestling can't get any crazier, it'll prove us wrong. Let's get started. Number 5, Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti get engaged. Wrestling's most hated couple has decided to tie the knot. TMZ and many others had reported that Sammy Guevara proposed to Ty Conti in front of the Eiffel Tower. Honestly, with how much AEW trolls us lately, I could see people assuming even this is a work. And especially because Guevara and Conti have only been together for a number of months now, and the fact that Guevara was engaged to another woman just last year. But a huge congratulations to the happy couple, and with there being some dramatic wrestling relationships, here's to hoping nothing but happiness for the two. And even though we don't want it, we're probably going to get a few grotesque tweets. Number 4, Jeff Hardy injured. One of the most spotlighted matches at Double or Nothing was the Dream match with the Hardys and the Young Bucks. While the match was still pretty good, something just felt off. And this past week, Matt Hardy cleared up any worries that fans had for Jeff. On his podcast titled The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, Matt explains that more so in the beginning of the match, Jeff got knocked out. He clearly regained consciousness quickly enough to finish the match, hitting 2 swanton bombs, including one on the fucking steel steps. And when Jeff ran into the crowd after the match, we got extra worried, since that sort of scenario led to him leaving WWE. And even scarier, Jeff apparently doesn't even remember performing the match. One, that does show how naturally good Jeff is, but also insanely scary when that doesn't just danger Jeff, but also his brother or either of the Young Bucks. Jeff will be missing in-ring action for a certain number of time, and here's to hoping to a speedy recovery. Number 3, Thunder Rosa upset with AEW. AEW's been getting the heat magnet since the summer began. But these frustrations are pretty understandable. Since Rosa won the AEW Women's World Championship, she's mainly been given promos on the stage with very minimal heat, besides her already passionate skills on the mic. And it seems that this past week on Dynamite, they kept going back and forth on a segment that she was going to do, and it seemed to get lost in the shuffle. Which should not be the case for a world title storyline. While these frustrations aren't on the same levels of AEW talents like MJF, which I'll get into later, it does show that with plenty of advancements AEW has made, they still really need to give the women's division more time and development on television. Number 2, Bray Wyatt and Cesaro returning to WWE. I've talked about Cesaro pretty recently on Weekly 5, and while I was assuming he may go to AEW, it seems he might be WWE bound pretty quickly after his release. It's apparent that if this is true, Cesaro is aware of how he may not be used as main event talent. Still bullshit, but it would be great to see Cesaro back. And I am still feeling the pain from when WWE released Bray Wyatt. In my opinion, he could be the most poorly booked talent in the history of wrestling. And while we were hoping to see Wyatt, or Wyndham Rotunda, make an appearance in another wrestling promotion, he spent most of his time away from WWE working on a horror film, which I'm very excited to see. But Wyndham has added some new stuff to his Twitter account. One, changing his name to Wyatt6, which was 6 days ago, so maybe he can make a surprise return at Hell in a Cell? Then tweeting on May 31st stuff like, "It doesn't hurt anymore, it burns, I'm ready now. I'll remind everyone why they know my name. Again and again. Believe in me." And lastly, patience. It's almost time. If we get The Fiend back in WWE, I swear to God, you better give that man some creative control, or there will be a Firefly Funhouse up your ass! And number 1, MJF's pipe bomb. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. But anyway, holy shit, we just got the promo of the decade. MJF walked to the ring on Dynamite with a microphone in hand, letting us know that this was Max Friedman talking. Digging into the backstage news, we had been hearing of his unhappiness with AEW and him just wanting to leave. Exploiting the real hard work he's brought to the company being the second draw in the ratings, and Tony Khan hoarding his money to keep bringing in former WWE guys. A true sight of reality and fiction being so blurred, and it got even more insane when MJF looked to the camera and called Tony Khan a f***ing mark. Then his mic was shut off, it quickly cut to commercial, and they never brought it up again the rest of the show. MJF has even been removed from AEW's roster on their website. Last week we could have more so assumed it was real, but what's been talked about from wrestling observers, this was a situation that was starting as a real life shoot, and now they're trying to make the best out of it and make it into an angle. Talent apparently had no idea of this whole situation, and some even complained about it, mentioning that it was there for the moment, but nothing is really planned for after that. I could see that being an issue, especially with CM Punk being taken out of action, but regardless, this was one of the greatest promos ever. MJF is one of the most captivating people on the mic, and he exploded in this rant, and it was just amazing to watch. I do wonder what they're going to do with MJF now. This is one of the biggest wrestling storylines in recent years, where they're really trolling us on wondering what is real and what is fake. And one of the best parts about being a pro wrestling fan is when you had to admit to yourself, I have no idea what's going to happen next. So that was another episode of Weekly 5. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and duke out your opinions below in the comments.